I want to check in again with Brittany Cadet. She raced to get to this scene and keep us updated on what's happening. Brittany, are you seeing a lot of tenants and residents outside? I'm sure they have as many questions as we do.
Yeah, I mean, again, just more questions than answers right now. I mean, a lot of residents who live in the neighboring buildings are just here just kind of trying to see what is going to happen and what is going to come out of this. But thankfully, we have not seen not one person pulled out of that rubble here. But I do have one resident who lives here in building 205, Medellin Olivo. She said that she was in the building at the time this entire collapse happened. Medellin, tell me what was going through your head, what happened?
Yes, I was in my house when that happens. We feel like the building was moving around. We thought it was an earthquake. So I was so scared and jumping because I don't want to feel that in my foot. So by the time we was waiting to see what's going on, my sister-in-law called me and she said, "You inside the building?" I said, "Yes." And she said, "Go out because the building is exploding. It's going to go down." So I started running outside and I feel like it smelled like gas, a lot of strong gas. But that building is in fire last week. So I don't know, but I feel like the building had to move the people out there because there's a lot of trouble.
And Medellin, we were speaking to other residents who live here in the building. They say that they've been smelling gas for a very long time. Yes. Can you tell me how long you've maybe been smelling it?
The gas, even one time I was calling them and they say, "Let's check," and Conediso come to check because it's smelling gas in the building. We thought because the building is too old. This is the problem. And today it's very strong.
And how does this make you feel? This is the building that you live in, that
Yes.
you have, had your family in. How does it make you feel to see it kind of just come down?
I feel so scared. I don't want to even live there no more because we give a lot of complaint to that building, but they don't pay mine. They don't pay mine. So I don't feel that safe for nobody. No.
And were you home alone at the time? Tell me a little bit about, what was going on before this happened.
Thank God I was already bring my daughter to school. So my sister and me was like prepare breakfast when that happened. And we feel like crazy. It's like a stranger, very strong. I feel like something is maybe in the street, like two truck was collapsing, but no, was my building was collapsing in that time.
Thank you, Medellin. I mean, it's very devastating here. I mean, did you get are all of your neighbors out? How are your neighbors feeling?
I was knocking because especially where I live in the second floor is a lot of old people. And I was knocking the door, "You gotta go out because it's not safe." And they, thank God, go out. For now, we don't know if it's somebody, because of some people saying that a mom was crossing in the time the collapse happened, bringing two kids to the school. I hope that this is not true because it's a lot of things there.
Thankfully, there has been confirmed no injury, so that's okay. But
okay.
I'm glad you are okay, and I hope everything turns out to be okay.
Panic attack I have.
Thank you for speaking with us today. But again, this is Medellin. She lives here in 205 in the Mitchell houses. As you can imagine, she was inside of that building just feeling everything unfold and that rubble and that kind of shake just go through the building at the time. So again, as you can imagine, just very frightening moments, not knowing what's really going on. But again, like I told you earlier, Noel, a lot of residents have been complaining about that gas smell. And we were just here not too long ago because there was a fire here in this building. So just a lot of devastation and a lot of just unanswered questions here for these residents.
Yeah, Brittany, and from Medellin, who you spoke to, it sounds like some residents have tried to raise concerns over smells of gas and other issues in the building. And, it sounds like perhaps their concerns went unheard. Now, we do know, of course, there are a lot of residents outside that you guys are getting a chance to speak to. And thankfully, that woman was able to go alert her neighbors, right? Those just joining us, we are following a massive building explosion in Mott Haven, a gas explosion, and the incinerator collapsed. Now, Brittany just spoke with a resident, Maylene, and News 12's Mike Lamort also spoke to a resident who's concerned about their belongings, much needed belongings, inside.
Building was collapsing, my wheelchair's upstairs, my medical supplies, and I really need them bad. My apartment is open, we don't care about none of the belongings but my medical supplies and my wheelchair. Have a blessed day, America. This is what's happening in Boogie Down.
Important to get that medicine, and this is one of the tough after effects when we see things like this, building collapses and fires. Not just the initial incident is such a challenge, but then for residents in the days and hours to come, getting the stuff they need. Of course, they're not allowed into the building, understandably why, but that's tough for that man there. Video speaking to residents, trying to figure out what happened, you know, what caused that gas explosion. That's still being investigated. We know it was an explosion, but maybe what caused it or what might have sparked it, still not clear. So we're trying to figure all of that out for you here on 12. But as you can see, that is a concern. News 12's Mike Lamort is there. We want to check in with Mike. Mike, I see a bunch of residents behind you.
Yeah, Noel, that's right. I mean, I showed up to the scene and it was pretty minimal when I first arrived, but within minutes, streets started to close down. People started running out of the building in what seemed to be a panic, just shocked at what just happened when the building came crumbling down. Some residents dropping their kids off at school just across the street and looking up, feeling the ground rumble beneath their feet. It was something that no one would expect to wake up to and to go about their day. I spoke with Edward telling me that he was dropping his daughter off, and that's when things started to unfold, hearing a loud boom and then seeing the side of the building collapse. It's not exactly what anyone would want to see in the morning. People standing outside now on the street looking up in just total shock. We're going to hear from Edward now, who, as I said earlier, was dropping his daughter off at school.
I just heard boom.
And when you saw it, what was your reaction?
For a minute after the boom, we saw the birds flying and all of that. So we're looking around. We saw a little smoke. And then after the little smoke, the building started.
Yeah, as you heard from Edward there was some sort of smoke. That's when everything came crumbling down. And this scene, again, is still unfolding. We're seeing medical units arrive here on the scene, though it does not look like anyone was being pulled out of the building or seeking any sort of emergency medical attention, though I did see someone enter an ambulance. No word on that yet. We'll be checking in with the FDNY and EMTs as this unfolds.
Now we want to check in with Brittany again. Brittany, is there any new updates from the scene? I know you're still learning more minute by minute.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, not too many updates, but, you know, I mean, we did get that update from FDNY saying that it was the boiler that caused this entire explosion. And, you know, we spoke earlier about what residents here have been telling me, that they've been smelling gas for a very long time here. And this is just a result of what they've been smelling, and it just came crumbling down, and they've been making complaints for it to get fixed. And they tell me they put in multiple 311 complaints and it hasn't been solved, and these tickets have been closed. So, I mean, you know, just a lot going on here. Thankfully, we have not seen not one person come out of this rubble here. We do have EMTs here still on the side, just on standby, just in case, because, again, like I said, that smell of gas is still very prominent in the air. It's very windy, so that debris is getting blown into some of the residents who live here on the other sides of the buildings. They're just all around, kind of just looking to see what exactly happened. But, again, I want to show you guys the entire building and how far and how tall it goes up here, and what the entire side of the building looks like right now. It's just empty, crumbled, and, you know, just kind of just devastating, because this is where a lot of people, these residents live, and they're waking up to go to work, to go to school, and to only just have this on the outside of their home, and to walk past it, or maybe they're not even maybe able to get to work today because this is happening here. But a lot of the residents here say that this side of the building is just kind of just empty space. It acts as a chimney, because this is where the boiler is on the bottom floor, and then it acts as a chimney, just exhausting all of those chemicals just out in the air here. But again, that's probably where they were smelling that smoke. That's probably why they've been smelling it for so long. So just a lot of devastation here, a lot more questions than answers at this point, Noel.
Yeah, Brittany, I mean, just looking at that video, you can just, it looks like a whole street strip on the side of the building just peeled right off. You can't even notice until you get to the bottom the remainder of the building that's still there. Now, at this time, you said you still have not seen anyone taken on a stretcher or anything like that, right? I know there is an ambulance you saw there.
Yes, thankfully nobody has been pulled out of the rubble as we've been here today. So that's almost thankfully a miracle here that nobody has been injured right now. We haven't even seen a dog be pulled out, just dirt, rubble, grass, trees, and just all that garbage that is coming from underneath there. But as you can see, the FDNY members are just standing around kind of just being around and just making sure everything is okay and having the others just handle what they need to handle. But, it's thankfully there's no injuries. We have not seen not one body come out. And, the FDNY is still hard at work trying to figure out what is going on here.
And that is always the good news. Most importantly, making sure the people here are okay.